Hello and welcome to Latinas with a Mic. I'm your host, Jennifer.
And I'm your host, Rosa.
And today we're going to be talking about hurt people hurt people. And honestly, that is such a truth statement, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for like the past 2 hours.
This is so true.
So we're like, let's record it.
Now we're like, well, let's record it. And we're like, damn, we already said everything we're about to say.
Yeah, but I think this is a very important topic we should bring up. And it's well known that like when we go through our emotions, for the most part, we want other people to feel what we're feeling. So if we're feeling happy, we want to like the other person to feel happy. But when we're hurt, we also want to hurt the other person. So and this is seen everywhere from, like we were saying, like abused people have the tendency to be the ones to
become abusers later on.
And we even talked about a show on Netflix that we both watched called I Am
a Killer.
Yeah, and in that show, every episode, the killer usually, like when they bring up like the killer's past, they for the most part had a very horrible childhood.
Yes, they normally have a really bad upbringing, and then it's not like he excused what they did, because what they did is wrong regardless of, but it kind of like you kind of see where they come from. Well, maybe because of all of that is that they did what they just did.
Yeah, it's exactly what we said, like hurt people, they had a very bad upbringing and they're hurt about that, and as they get older, that portrays out in the people that they meet, and so eventually they end up taking somebody's life. So
yeah, and so something like, some examples of what hurt people do. And it's like hurt people like to transfer, that's what you just said, like since they're hurting, they want the other person. Sometimes by they knowing or unknowingly, because sometimes they really don't know that they're doing it, but if you're arguing with somebody that is hurt, it's like they want this, they want you to hurt.
Or if you're
like
angry, like you want to do something to make them angry. That's the whole vindictive part, and we see that in relationships so much. That's why one partner cheats. Well, I'm gonna cheat because I'm gonna get back, and I'm hurting, so I want him to hurt. Or you ever seen those when the partner cheats and then the other person like records themselves cheating and sends it to to
the other person
even after they broke up, because it's like, I'm still hurting so bad, like
I want you to feel what I felt when I got hurt at first. Yeah, that's really true. Also, it is something that I'm going through right now, and when I read about it, I was like, oh, this is so true.
We need to talk about this.
We need to talk about this, and it's that when you're hurting, like everything that somebody tells you about the situation and about like whatever is happening, you just take in a negative light.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing and nobody that can tell you like, oh my God, I did not say that to hurt you. I did not say that that you were doing something in a bad way or nothing. I'm just trying to tell you, like why I'm doing something. And they just want to be like, nah, it's just bad. Like they cannot get to comprehend that is. Yeah. That is not like that.
Because it's like everything is being filtered through their pain.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So whatever the other person says, there's a filter of pain that it goes through, and that takes away the true meaning of, you know what I'm saying? It takes away the whole like, well, maybe it's not like this. Maybe,
Yeah. One of the other ones, and it's like, it gets like so. It kind of irks me sometimes, but honestly, by reading about this topic and also experiencing it, somehow to an extent I do get it, but to an extent it's kind of like, I need you to heal because I need you to stop being like this. And it's about being a victim.
Victimizing yourself.
They always victimize themselves. I mean, even on the show I Am a Killer, sometimes they want to use that of like, well, my dad abused me, so that's why I went and killed this guy on a dominoes that didn't have absolutely nothing to fucking do with the whole situation. Just a random night.
Or
like,
even victimizing themselves with the person that they killed, and saying, well, this person made me feel this way. And,
oh my God, that is so true.
And so it's kind of like, that person is not here anymore to defend themselves.
That's the worst thing. It's like, did they really hurt you that bad? Did they really say what you're saying? Now, normally, because you're already hurting, it goes with the same thing. Like, because you're hurting, like, everything this person might have said to you, you just take in a negative light because you're hurting. Yeah. So those are the things that is like, healing.
And you know what? I think that's a big one, because, like, victimizing yourself, like, I can truly say that for the longest time, I used to do that, I used to, and then it took me like the healing journey to realize that I victimized, even though I always said I'm not a victim, I'm not a victim, I'm not a victim. But when I spoke through my hurt, I was victimizing myself. I was saying, well, I went through this.
Yeah.
You put me, I'm the victim here, you know?
Yeah.
And through my healing journey, I realized like, oh shit, like, you know, like I'm victimizing myself. So now I feel like I can recognize it more easily in other people as well. But that's a big one.
Yeah. Another one also is like, sometimes when people are hurting, you know what I mean, they do push some people away. You know, because I mean, sometimes so much negativity that comes out of your mouth. So many, you know, every time that I talk to you, it has to be like something bad, something negative, something, you know, all the hurt that sometimes people do be away from you. But most of the times, people are there for you, but you want to see as like, nobody understands me, nobody's here for me. Nobody support me.
I think that comes from like, because when you're dealing with those emotions of anger or frustration or hurt, and you know everything you see in a negative light, as someone is telling you something like, well, maybe you have a part in yourself getting hurt as well. You don't want to hear that, you know what I'm saying?
No.
So as that person is giving you that feedback, you're not being receptive to it at all. So then you're like, no, that's not it. So then the other person can feel like, well, you know what, let me get the fuck out of here. You know, it's just not, it's like you don't, it's like what we were talking about earlier. You can't see it from anybody else's perspective but yours. So no matter what anybody else tells you, your mind is not going to change. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that can lead people to walk the fuck away. Not necessarily it's like that if you call them and say I need you, they won't be there, but it's like they're just not stepping forward trying to give you advice because they know it's not being received well, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes then it gets like really tiring. Just to be with somebody all the time, trying to just tell them the stuff. Also, what about like her people mostly also are super self-absorbent. So
self-absorbing. You said self-absorbent. I don't know why when you said self-absorbent, I'm like, is it a sponge?
But I mean, it's pretty much that. Like, they just want to make everything about them,
about their own pain.
You know, and it's like, so it's like, it's pretty much just like, if we're both talking about how that situation hurt both of us, you want to be as like, maybe one person that already healed and the other person that's still hurting, they just want to see as like their pain. That's it. Like, yeah, your pain is bad, but mine is worse.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I know you're hurting, but we're not talking about you.
You know what I mean? But it's not about you. It's about like my pain.
It's about me.
It's like, but I mean, we all hurt. We all went through it. And it's like one of those situations that, like I say, I mean, I'm definitely going through something like that right now. And it's like almost impossible to get to explain to this person about something that happened so many years ago. You know, that is like, bro, we already move on. Like, we already move on from that. Like, nobody's thinking about that. Nobody's like, nothing about that. Literally, you were part of the whole situation, but it's not in a bad way. But nobody's really thinking about you in that part. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's really trying to hurt you or do anything to you, but you want to make it seem like you were the only person that hurt. Like, nobody else hurt in the situation, just you. Like, what? No, there was a bunch of people involved in that. Like, why you, I don't know, it's just, but they're hurting so much that they just cannot get to see it. They cannot get to see how other people be hurting, how they hurt others, and stuff.
And
like
how
that.
it's affecting others too, because especially us as adults, and if we become, you know, if we have like a friendship circle and we're hurting, we tend to pass that on. If we're parents, you know, we're hurting. A lot of times our kids can see that, and without knowing, we are passing that. Because I remember, and I think I brought this up in a previous episode, when, you know, I was going through either anxiety or I was going through certain things, or I was angry at somebody. And my daughter or my son would come and talk to me, and because I was already in that, you know,
that mood.
Yeah, she would come and ask me something, and I would respond with like a little attitude, or I wasn't being present, and so I realized like I'm hurting right now. And even though I always said I would never hurt my children intentionally, you know, I would never, like my kids, like this and that, but at the same time, unintentionally and subconsciously, I was passing on my hurt to them, because they were the ones in my vicinity, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's why I feel like this topic is so great to talk about, and it's so needed, because a lot of times we don't realize it. We're so caught up in a bubble of hurt and in pain that we don't we don't realize how much we're affecting others, you know?
That's the thing. Something that caught me more the attention to want to talk about it is about like sometimes because of the same thing, you know, we're hurting and all of that. I just wish to bring to the attention to people to get to see that sometimes even though we're hurting, we have to realize that we are hurting and that sometimes we might be so much into our own head that we're not getting to see the big picture. You know, we're really not taking into account how you say it? Accountability?
Yeah, accountability.
Into account about other people's pain. You know, like how this person might be talking to you about how you hurt them too. How, like for example, like cheating. You know what I mean? It's one of those examples that is like, you know, because it's so common to an extent that it's like, you know, so if your significant other cheated on you, I hate to say that word because it sounds super different because of my accent. If they slept with somebody while they were with you or something like that, sometimes you hurt so much, you know, that you want them to feel the same. You know, and even though they apologize or whatever, you're still feeling like, nah, this is not enough.
It's not enough.
I need you to feel how I'm feeling. Yeah. Now, something that we were saying earlier, it was that sometimes people also judge themselves. Is that what you're saying? Something about like, they start thinking like, what's wrong with me? You know, like, and sometimes it really doesn't have nothing to do with you. You know, like sometimes people just sleep with others or do whatever because of other reasons, nothing to do with you.
I personally think that whenever there's cheating involved, I feel like it never has to do with you. It always has to do with the person that's doing the cheating.
Yeah.
But, you know. I
mean, I do feel like, you know, we'll have to have a whole episode for that one, you know? But I do feel like, let's say...
let's talk about it now.
No, because let's say that, like for an example, like if you're lacking, let's say like okay, there have been situations, right, where the wife being so focused about like maybe the kids and stuff like that, that they actually don't pay attention to their husband at all, right? Pretty much like the husband goes to work, come back from work, mom is just here and there, doing this, doing that. They don't pay no attention. They don't try to sacrifice some time to spend time with their husband or doing anything, right? Perfect. Sometimes let's say that they start talking like we were saying on the woman cheating episode about like, what if they have a coworker, you know what I mean, that do pay the attention to them that they were wanting to or whatever, right? And let's say that this person, before they cheated on their partner, they actually tried to talk to their significant other about it. Like, hey, you're not fulfilling me, right? Like you're lacking on some things. But instead of this person listening to, they just want to be like, no. Let's say like something that we do a lot as moms is like, I mean, but it's hard to be a mom, you know what I mean? And you know, I need to work, I need to, you know what I mean? And then you realize sometimes like, well, but I need to work and I need to come back home and do this and do that, you know what I mean? I just don't have time, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be, and we want to dismiss other people's feelings. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we tend to a significant other, or at least I can speak for myself, you know, that we tend to kind of like dismiss what they're feeling or what they're going through because we want to be like, nah, you just acting out too much, or you just looking for excuses, or you just tripping, you know what I mean? And we kind of like, how you say, like, you know, treat them like, kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? They feel dismissed, they wouldn't do that. While you're hurting, right, now you know that this person has slept with somebody else, right? And if you're trying to talk to them about like, well, but you hurt me and you do this thing, and they're like, I did hurt you and I'm sorry for that, but I tried to talk to you, and they're trying to explain your part. Sometimes we get so blind about what we're hurting about that we tend to like just shut the other person down to the same thing, like keep doing the same thing, and we want to hurt them so much that we sometimes say so many trifling ass things.
But I still think that with cheating, because you gave your example, but I still think that with cheating, when it comes to cheating, you still always have the decision. Like, I get all of that you said.
100%.
But 100%. If you say that that's the whole reason,
there are other ways around it. No,
yeah. You know?
There are other reasons. You know, there are other things that you can do around that. You know, absolutely.
So
you know what I mean?
We don't want to say that cheating is excuses. That's not what we're saying.
No. You did it, and you know, you deserve those things. Now, the only thing is like sometimes we do.
But your point was really valid. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of times when you don't get that support from your partner, then it's like, you know, and you've seen it from somebody else, or you know what I'm saying, like.
And one thing goes to the other one. But my whole point with that is that sometimes, let's say, like, what is it, like un error no se tapa con otro error? Like what is it, like you know, like one wrong doesn't.
Yeah, what? It's
two wrong doesn't make it right,
yes,
right? That's what it is. So it's two wrong doesn't make it right. So with that saying is that this person slept, you know, cheated on you. That's it. By you hurting them, it's not gonna make the situation better. Because a lot of the cases that I have seen in Muslim marriages is that he cheated on me and now I wanna hurt him, but I still want him to go back with me. You know what I mean? I want him to be with me. But I wanna make him feel like the shittiest person for like forever.
You know, I never understood that, because it's like there's still like kind of what you're saying, like I still want him back.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm gonna make your life miserable, but I want you back.
And they want to blame the person of like, but you know, you haven't come back, and it's like, but why would I come back? You be making me feel like
shit.
You be making me feel like shit this whole time that I've been away. Why you thought I would come back? Like, what makes you think that I'm gonna be like, you know what? I do miss her treating me like shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes we wanna be like, well, you don't miss your family. It's like, well, I mean, he can miss his kids, but he sure don't miss you with that attitude.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that people be like, taking like, I don't know, like sometimes it's kind of confusing to me, because it's kind of like, bro, but if you weren't fixing it, you know, like if you hurt me in this situation and we're not trying to fix that miscommunication or that issue or whatever, then we're gonna go back to the same thing. And people know what, nobody wants to be around you if you're just gonna try to do that. If you're constantly trying to tell them how cheaty they are because of what they did, and those that forgive them,
but don't
really forgive them because want to bring it up every single month all the time. That's
I'm here.
It's me. Hi.
I'm the problem.
I'm the problem. It's me.
No, but you know, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that, like that whole forgiving but not necessarily forgiving. It's a dangerous place to be in. You know.
Yes.
That's why I think this whole topic of hurt people, it's so important, because not only a lot of times in relationships you use your kids, for example, and they end up dragging. We're not even gonna go into that, but also this whole I'm gonna match your energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which it goes back. It's the same thing. Hurt people, and that's the only time you use that I'm gonna match your energy. If you're good in a relationship, you don't say I'm gonna match it. No, but when you're hurting, you'll be like, I'm gonna match your energy.
And mostly, no, but you say we're not gonna bring it on, but we're bringing it. I'm bringing it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
We both have kids, you know, and even though I know that some of our listeners don't have kids, I know that some of you do have kids or will have kids one day. And that's like a subject that I have seen so common happening, that is like the man cheated on the mom, leaves the house, then the mom wants to give the kid every single fucking detail about what's going on, trying to hurt the dad. But I don't even know, how is that you think that by hurting the dad, then it's gonna push him to come back? Or by the kids hating the dad, it's gonna make you somehow, you know, gonna make the dad somehow be like, you know what, my kids are hurting, and they know that I shit on their mom, and they know I'm a piece of shit, and they know that all these things. I wanna come back. Like,
that's using your child. And one thing that I will always say, and you know this, even with my daughter, when I had problems with her dad, I never wanted to talk. And I think for when she was younger, I used to lie to her, you know, and be like, well, you know, this and that. And so I always understood that because you know what, I think I learned that from my parents.
That's what it is.
My parents had separated since I was very young, but they never like necessarily put it on us that we had to hate or pick sides. Or my mama sometimes, because she's a little bit crazy, but but for the general part, it was never seen as that. So with me and my daughter and her father, you know, I kind of kept it like that, you know what I'm saying? And even with my son, like I try so hard, because I feel like they don't have to know, you know what I'm saying?
Well, my point is that, at least in my side, right, because of my parents' situation, my mom absolutely like put us like we were right in the middle. We went through all that bullshit. We still struggling with it, you know what I mean? Like we were put into that. So to me, it's kind of like, I don't understand what's the need of parents want to put the kids in the middle or trying to tell them how bad the other one is, when the kids will always get to see through everything.
That's what you always told me.
If you were the problem, they will get to see it. If he was the problem, they will get to see it. we show our kids who we are. You know what I mean? Regardless of what time it is, we show them. Like, your son knows who his daddy is. Your daughter knows who is that. You know what I mean? They know who it is, and they know who you are and what thing you brought into everything. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy because you always, back in the day when I used to call Johnny crying, literally I'll be in my car bawling out like, my daughter, she wants to, she's 10, and I think my daughter was like 6 or something. And I used to be like, I don't understand why she prefers her dad over me. I do everything for her. And and she would always tell me like, she will see, because even at that time when she would tell me that she wanted to go with her dad, I still never said shit about her dad.
Exactly. But then it would hurt you.
But it would hurt me so bad,
Exactly.
And Johnny would always reassure me. She would always say, she will grow and she will see. You don't have to,
Yeah. I'm telling you, because I'm seeing, like, I went through it, you know what I mean? And I got to see, what fault my mom had on their situation, and I got to see what fault my dad had to go in their situation, you know what I mean? And they didn't have to tell me about it. I go to see it myself. I go to experience it myself.
It's letting the child decide once they get old enough to decide and actually see, okay, my mommy is this and my dad is that. You know what I'm saying? Without you having to have that influence on them, because
exactly.
It goes back to hurt people. I feel like when we're hurting as parents, we pass that on to our kids. And a lot of times we don't realize it, but it's really damaging. And if there's one thing that I can pat myself on the back for, is the fact that I never did that with my kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, I might have put them in situations they should have been in, but I never wanted to talk bad about their dads to them.
Yeah,
never, because it's like, it's not on me to tell them that.
When I tell you, like,
but I've seen parents do that. Like, I've seen parents do that. My stepmom does that
with her kids.
With my little sister and brother. Yeah, and I was talking to you, or I think my sister there, and just saying, like, I hate it so bad that she does that, because as much as I try to talk to her, she doesn't understand that my brother is growing up with this idea that she's put on his mind.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what you said, he will know. You know what I'm saying?
And it is really damaging, because when I tell you that now I can see traits of it, like, even in my relationship, you know what I mean? Like, there are some things that I'm super, like, I don't know, like, I feel like because of my situation with my parents, it just feels to me like, oh, you can leave anytime, or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, and sometimes, like, he has bring it up to me, like, why are you so, like, so easy to, like, give it up? Like, just be like, oh, we don't have to do this no more. And I'm like, because I feel like I want my kids to get to see you being here just because I'm forcing you. You know what I mean? Or stuff like that, because it messes you up. Like, kids see it all. They see it, they hear it. As much as you want to
self-absorbed.
Oh my God, like,
they are like sponges.
People be thinking that, oh, he's little, no. If that or whoever, if you're beating that up, but that is beating you up in front of the kid, they see it. They learn that. Like, I have had friends that is like, well, my kid is beating me up, is doing this, and I'm like, isn't that doing the same? Well, but that hasn't done it in front of the kid. No, that has done it in front of the kid. That's how he knows it's okay to him, mommy.
I feel like at the end, like, kids, everything they do, even if it bothers you what they're doing, they learned it from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
always.
I know my son's father earlier today was getting on my son, like, saying, no, you're just you keep getting, like, you keep doing something. I don't know what my son was doing. And I looked at him and I said, oh my God, he's acting exactly like you. Like, he is being you right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look how much it's bothering you. But he sees you doing it all the time.
That's my thing. I literally had that talk today with my mom, though. Yeah. And I literally just told her that. I was like, the problem here is that I'm you. I am the fruit of you. I am the fruit of your raising. You know what I mean? The way that you raised me, this is the fruit. And what the problem that you're having right now is that the same way that you are, the way that you are, I am that way, and it pisses you off because you're so used to just, get away with it with others. But since I'm so close to you, like, I'm so like you, I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
And
that bothers you.
Oh my God. I'm like the worst when it comes to that. But it's like, no, I am just like you. Like, this attitude and these boys and this, you. So it's the same thing, and it's like, but once again, it's because while we're hurting, we don't get to see things. Yeah. While we're hurting, we don't get to, like, understand how we affect others, how we affect our kids. Sometimes we and it's okay to hurt. Like, it's okay for you to take some time to just cry it out and I hate you or whatever. That's fine. But what's important is for you to learn to get yourself out of that hurt.
I think as long as you contain, it's different from sharing your hurt and your emotions. Like if I'm hurting and I call her and I say, this and this is happening and I want to share it because I want to talk about it. Yeah. It's different sharing it than inflicting it on others, So that's that's a key thing right there.
Exactly. So now we just have to learn, we just would like to say some things that it can help people to actually help others to go through their healing journey, kind of get out of that hurt.
Yeah, because I think how do you stop the cycle of hurting other people when you're hurting yourself? And I think the way to do it is really through healing, through healing yourself so that you no longer feel the need to inflict it upon others, and self-awareness. I think self-awareness is key because it has happened to me where I'm so angry, and then I'm aware though, when I become aware of the fact that I'm really angry right now, I'm about to say some really meaningful things, but because I'm aware of what I'm about to do, I stop, I take a deep breath, and I'm like, and you take another route,
And that's something that I'm telling you, I literally prayed about it yesterday. I pray to God to please not allow me to being in a moment of hurting so much that I don't control myself to an extent to stop myself when I'm actually about to inflict a really bad, it hurt other people in a really bad way. Because sometimes, even if it's just words, you can hurt people just by saying,
I think words are the worst ones because you can't take them back.
Yeah, exactly. And when you say, you mean it.
And when you're angry, you say things that even though later on you're like, I didn't mean it. No, bitch, you meant it.
No, you've been thinking about it and you said it so comfortably.
Yeah.
So with what you say, I think it comes with educate yourself about knowing the signs. Knowing what's a symptom, the signs of people that hurt. What are the things that they do? What we just already say, that there are things that people do while they're hurting. And if you see somebody actually acting like that, doing those type of stuff, you can be like, okay, then I think you're just hurting about something. Sometimes we don't even know what we're hurting for. Sometimes we really
it's always getting to the root of it. Okay, let's talk about it. So you're hurt because he or she did this to you. Okay, well, what hurt you the most? Okay, and then you process it. You know what I'm saying? Until it no longer hurts. Because that's the thing about pain. You process the pain until you don't feel it anymore, or it doesn't bother you as much anymore.
Yep. Another thing is also I would say have patience. You know what I mean? Remain calm. Trying to when you hear somebody actually hurting, and normally when you will recognize that they're hurting is because they start hurting you. They try to hurt you, trying to say really mean things back to you, or trying to be acting like your pain is no problem, is their pain. Try to breathe it in and not just latch out to them.
Be mindful and be patient.
Yeah, because then that will help to our, to the next part of to get them to heal. You know what I mean? By you actually trying to be understanding what in front of them and then move on with that part.
Yeah. And then I will also say the next tip is just to be respectful, right?
Yeah.
And be patient, which is what we said earlier. Be respectful and not dismissive. Dismissiveness of someone's emotions, it causes the pain to grow. It triggers. I think when you're hurting and you're trying to explain that to somebody else that you're hurting and that person is being dismissive, it triggers you even more.
Oh yeah.
So if you wanted to kill them before, you want to kill them and bury them now.
Yeah. And with that being patient, it's it is okay to tell somebody that they need to seek for help. It is okay to encourage them to be I think that a therapist will help you to kind of heal whatever it is that you're going through. Now, what you cannot do is demand them to do it. Demanding of you need to heal by next month because no, that's why you need to stay patient, give them time because everybody heal in different ways. Everybody has a different way of healing, so you cannot expect just the same thing from everybody.
The next one is just listening. Being able to listen to someone and their reasoning and why. It's what I was saying earlier. It's just by listening, then you can understand better, then you can provide support.
That's why, we have all these hotlines and stuff like that. And I don't know if y'all have ever called a hotline, but I have called one before.
Me too.
And it's like the person, first of all, the person is super welcoming, make you feel like, hey,
yes,
I'm here for you, And then also they listen, they ask what's happening. And everything you tell them, they don't interrupt you. They don't try to be like, ma'am, listen, like, no. Whatever you need to say, like, bring it all out. And then they talk about it. So let you know, like, oh, you listen. Like, you actually, like, were paying attention to what I was telling you.
I think that's one of the biggest resources that a lot of people don't use. Like, a lot of people don't use an hotline. Like, I've called, you've called. They're fucking great. Like, and they're out there, and it's free, and all it goes is, like, you don't have nobody to call the fucking hotline. You don't have somebody there that's listening to you, that you feel supported. So.
Yeah, and a lot of them are, you can literally call without having to say who you are.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Like, they don't even, you don't have to give no information on who you are, and, you just want to, like, know that you can speak it up about it, Another thing that is really important, obviously, because we're trying to heal, is to provide support. Encourage them of where to go or what to do when it comes to that, you can help them, letting them know that you're there to listen, but it also, professional help also, like, I mean, it's big help.
Never hurt.
Like, oh my God.
Yes.
It is absolutely. And lastly, I would say,
establish boundaries. Boundaries for yourself and for that person, because that's the thing about, like, it goes back to hurt people. I feel like when someone, and we were saying it earlier, like, you subconsciously can pass your hurt on to someone else. So always establishing boundaries so you're not neglecting yourself in the process of trying to help this person,
Exactly. And a lot of things is like, haven't you found somebody that sometimes people tell you something and you take it so much to the heart that you make their problem your problem? That's when you need to put boundaries of, like, I'm listening to you, but this is not my problem. Like, it's not for me to fix. It's not for me to heal. It's not for me to actually make you do whatever that you have to do. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm here to listen to you, but I'm not going to put all of that. Or letting them know, listen, like, if they have an issue, have you heard, like, some people, like if I hurt one of your friends and they want to be like, well, you're still talking to Johnny. It's like, well, wait a second. Like, you're the one hurt. Like, whatever that you all got going on.
Yeah, like, I want to be here and I want to support you, but I'm not trying to get mixed up in this shit.
Exactly. And that's when you let them know, like, no. I can help you onto this stream. Like, after that, I'm not getting in between. I'm not going to be put in between. Please don't bring me in between. Yes. That's why boundaries are always so important.
Boundaries are important for everything in life. But so those were 6 things that I feel can really help you if you're trying to help someone.
Yeah.
Someone that's going through pain. But for the person that's actually going through the hurt themselves, the number one, the key, I believe, is the healing journey. Is just starting to process your pain, heal, seek help, talk to somebody. So if you're the one that's hurting, be aware. I think healing is the number one thing, becoming self-aware and learning to control your emotions.
Oh my God.
That is like the biggest thing right there. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're hurting, we're either sad, we're frustrated, we're angry. Those three itself are all examples of not controlling your emotions. And it was so hard for me because I started to realize, like, with the anger, right, or getting frustrated, that, like, when you are frustrated or you're angry, it's like nothing really helps. Nothing that you can't really turn that light bulb on that says, the alarm is going off. You need to stop. Don't send that text.
No, you
stop
have
typing,
to.
delete, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to really, really learn to control your emotions.
Oh, yes.
Because I've done that where once I started learning about controlling my emotions and things like that, where I would type a whole long ass text message because I'm angry, and then but I'm aware and I'm learning, so I'm like, what are you doing? That switch turned on, but I actually listened to it this time. And I delete the whole thing and I say, you know what? I don't have to say anything. But then I feel good about it because then it's like, oh.
That's something that happens to me all the time, like with social media, where sometimes I see somebody like saying something, let's say like recently with the cases of Memphis about the officers that, that they came out. And with that case, I saw so many like, not close friends, but kind of like friends or people that I know or that I haven't got with, talking mad trash about like, officers in general and stuff like that. And as my man being an officer, like I was taking it so to the heart. And I would like literally like try to and then I was like, you know what? A voice of me was like, they have the right to feel however they're feeling. See what they're doing, learn what they're doing, like let who they are, learn who they are, and decide for yourself, do you want to stay being friends with them? or no. But that's it. You don't have to address the situation. You don't have to, because that's their opinion at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You cannot make people say or do as you want them to. If they understand that that's how they want to feel and that's what they're doing, let them. Yes. Let them. Like, and and I found myself like writing big things, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to do it. And then, like you said, you feel good. You feel like I'm bigger. I'm a bigger person than that. You know what I mean?
You know how long it took me to get to that point? It's not like you wake up one day and you said, okay, next time I get angry or when someone makes me mad, I'm going to be... No, it doesn't work that way. Like, because in the moment when it actually happens, that's when all of that, the things that I learned were tested. And I failed a lot of times before I got to that point where it's like, okay, it's working. So keep trying it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It takes a lot of patience on yourself, having that self-patience and learning and just healing. I think healing is a beautiful journey. And that's what we should talk about next time.
What?
Healing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Healing journeys. Because I think a lot of us are going,
With her, how excited she got.
She's like, yeah. I just thought about it because I was like, we haven't talked about it. And we both have had it. And we know a lot of people who are going through it or need to go through it.
Especially need to go through it.
All right, guys. With that, we have come to the end of this episode.
Yeah, just remember that we upload an episode, just audio, every Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Central Time.
Yes.
YouTube video the next day. Look into it. Please remember to share and support. Comment. Let her know whether you like, what you don't like, what you would like to listen, what you don't like to listen. Yeah. Would you like contribute? Like, would you like to be part of our episodes? Like,
you want to be a guest?
Y'all are welcome to this. This is for y'all. So honestly, you feel like, hey, Johnny, I would like to talk about this, or just say I would like to just come and record with y'all. We got you. We figured out what to talk about and we do it.
Yeah, we love guests. And we want to do more of that in season 2 anyway. So please comment, share, subscribe to our podcast platforms. And if you watch this on YouTube, please help us sister out.
Yes, exactly.
All right, guys. Remember to
be kind, love one another, don't be stupid. Bye.